A couple of people reached out to me and asked me to write a post on impatience. More accurately, how not be impatient while manifesting. Well, the usual answer would have been that impatience is just a sign that they're still focusing on the lack of it, and that they're not really living in the end. But what I observed was that most people actually know this. They understand the whole process intellectually, and yet, for some reason they are impatient. I thought about why this is so and realized that this is quite common. Like, consider a smoker who's trying to quit. They understand clearly that smoking can cause cancer, and even after knowing this fact, they still can't quit. So, the underlying problem here is not the lack of understanding of the law. It's more than that. It's habit. Habits run our entire lives. We are so used to thinking a certain way that getting used to a new way of thinking is so hard. We tend to keep falling into our old thinking habits. After all, manifesting does require you to think a new way. So, in order to overcome this, we need to understand how habits are formed, to learn how to break them and form a new one. How a habit loop is formed. Cues or triggers, team rewards. In this context, cues or triggers are the situations you face in the 3D world when you see, hear, experience the opposite of your desires. Routine is the act that is performed when you react negatively. Reward is what eventually happens after the routine. Ironically, in this case, it's not a reward. You feel impatient, frustrated after reacting, and might even lose hope. So, in order to break this habit, we need to change either the cue or routine. Changing the cues or triggers. When you change situational cues, as in avoid certain places, circumstances, or things that trigger the habit, you avoid triggering the habit loop. For example, when you stop stalking your SP on social media, it saves you from a lot of drama and unnecessary assumptions that ruin your imagined scenes or techniques. In case cues can't be changed, try to disrupt the next stage, routine. How? Each time I come across something that shows the opposite of my desires, I realize that's a trigger and I can't control it. But instead I disrupt the routine. When I realize the cue or trigger, I immediately take slow, mindful, deep breaths for a few seconds. I put all my focus on breathing and nothing else. This conscious effort of diverting my attention disrupts the trigger and breaks the habit loop. And now, because of this, my mind is not on autopilot. I'm calm and can think of what I want. Trust me, it works. After you disrupt the routine, it's time to replace it with a new one. Here's how I do it. After taking a few seconds to take a deep breath, I start shifting my perspective. How? When I see my old reality still playing out, instead of fighting it, I accept and acknowledge it. I'll be thinking like, wow, even after months, years, my old thoughts and beliefs are still playing out. The law is so perfect and powerful. That means that whatever I'm habitually thinking now will soon replace these, and my desires will be my new reality, and will last a long time. See how I turn the situation to my advantage. It excites me when I think that my present beliefs will soon replace the old ones. My focus shifted to what I want. This gives me a lot of assurance, and I move on with my day with no anxiety. Recognize the cues or triggers. Disrupt them. If not, disrupt and change your routines. When you do this, your rewards change automatically. Each time you follow this, it slowly becomes a habit. Sure, it might seem difficult at first. It might seem you're consciously putting in effort. But as you keep doing it, you'll reach a point where all this becomes a new habit, and you no longer will struggle during the manifesting period. Your mind will automatically stick to the new routine. That is focusing on what you want. I prefer practical approaches to solving issues, so I hope this helped someone. Subscribe if you liked this video.